All right, what's going on, guys? And welcome back. Today in this video, we're actually going to take some time now to actually create a passive income system, a part of investing when it comes to the stock market. This is not something that is complex. It is not complicated. Involves doing a tiny bit of homework, but it's nothing, anybody wouldn't be able to create for themselves, right? The main goal here is to create your system. Once you have your system created that works well for whatever your investment goals, your needs particularly are, now you just have to consistently allow it to grow and consistently water it. Okay. Before we actually take some time to get into how this works and broken down, let's understand a simplified way of really looking at this, right? There are dividend stocks a part of the stock market, right? Which means that these are companies that will pay you to own shares of their company. Okay. Majority of these companies pay out a dividend once every single quarter. There are a handful that pay out every single month. Okay. Now the reason why you need to distinguish between the two is because for the stocks that pay out every quarter, there are 4 quarters in a year. Okay, there are 4 quarters in a year. You got spring, summer, fall, winter, however it is that you want to equate it. There are 4 quarters in a year. And if you know and you understand that every single dividend paying stock that usually pays out every quarter, then that typically just means that you only need 3 stocks, recession-proof industry stocks, dividend-paying stocks, in order for you to create a passive income system for yourself every single month. So there are going to be a couple of examples that I'm actually going to go ahead and actually utilize when it comes to this. First one is Simon Property Group. This is a real estate investment trust that is also a part of my portfolio. Okay. So what it is that we're trying to do right now is actually search the dividend payout date. This is something that is super, super important because this is going to be the main catalyst for determining whether or not you're going to receive monthly passive income basically every single month. What it is that you typically want to do, right? You want to do your and again, going back to the other video, think about recession-proof industries. Why? Because once again, these are long-standing companies, but majority of the time, these are the ones that pay dividends. And also at the same time, that lets you know that if it's a long-standing company long-term, that means their dividend is also sustainable in some way, shape, or form. Again, Simon Property Group is a real estate investment trust. Okay. We want to be able to determine what dividend payout date this has. And so the simplest way of really going about this is literally going to Google. Part of the Investors Institute, we actually have a dividend database that actually shows you this. However, anybody can take some time to do this. Just basically applies a little bit more work. What is that you want to do? Type in dividend SPG or Simon Property Group stock dividend payout date. Okay. And then what it is that it will basically do, it will take you to NASDAQ. Majority of the time, NASDAQ.com is usually the very first link that you will go to. Right. And so as you can see here, NASDAQ.com literally gives you the record date, the declaration date, the ex-dividend date in a sense, right? So that's the date, as you can see here, by which the company tallies up however many shares that all shareholders typically have, and then afterwards the payment date is actually when they actually pay out that dividend. As you can see, the Simon Property Group has an annual dividend of $7.60. So I do believe you break this down into probably 4 for every single quarter. That means you'll probably get maybe $2, maybe $1.90 for every single dividend that you own, for every single share that you own. Okay. The dividend yield is 5%. And then of course, like you said, this is just the PE ratio for the most part, right? Historically, as you can see, this dividend has actually increased over time. Of course, back in 2019, they had a dividend cut some way, shape, or form. It didn't stop, but once again, over time, you can see this dividend has actually increased for the most part, right? And so the main thing that you want to really pay attention to, just plain and simple, is the payment date. As you can see here, payment date, March, and I'm not particularly paying attention to the day, but the month, okay? March, June, September, December, 3, 6, 9, 12. That means that this company pays out during the 3rd month of every single quarter, okay? So that means if you were to invest into this stock right now, that means you would consistently gain a dividend or a piece of passive income, either reinvested into your portfolio or just taken or just paid in the amount of cash value to your, basically the cash value every third month of every quarter, right? So now what it is that we typically want to do, now that we see how the third month, or how a stock pays out during the third month of every single quarter. Now our job is to figure out a stock that pays out during the second month of every single quarter. I also have energy transfer a part of my portfolio. Why? It's a recession-proof industry. It makes money, and it's a commodity that makes money in electricity. Okay, so once again, ex dividend payout date is 10/27. That is the most recent one that it's had for the most part. Annual dividend of $1.25, but the dividend yield is 9%. Okay, so when you actually take some time to factor in all of this, it's the annual dividend amount and the yield is very, very important for you to understand, because sometimes high dividend amounts versus the yields give you very, very different results. Okay, but excuse me. But once again, when it comes to energy transfer, they pay out during the second month of every single quarter: February, May, August, November. Okay. And so oftentimes what it is that you particularly want to do, it doesn't necessarily, don't go searching for stocks just because of the dividend payout date. Don't think about the recession-proof industries first, then look to see what kind of correlation that they have in terms of their dividend payout date. Okay. And then, of course, January is always tough to find, but what it is that I particularly use for the most part, I used to actually be invested in Altria, which is a cigarette group. Once again, this was not recession proof at all. It's a company that has been awarded the Dividend King, I believe, since 2020. So it won the Dividend King basically title between 2020, 2021, 2 and 3. Okay. And so as you can see, this pays out during the first month of every single quarter. So January, April, July, October. Okay. Now, the reason why I wouldn't be investing into this is, like I said, simply for me, being very honest, it's not a recession-proof company. So what it is that I personally decided to do, I decided to take a page out of Warren Buffett's book and actually invest into oil, because oil has a bigger impact on the world economy and it's a lot more long-standing and long and sustainable rather than just a friggin' cigarette company. Okay. Once again, coincidentally enough, this pays out January, April, July, October. So just based off of those three right there, they're all recession-proof industries. They're long-standing, they're sustainable, they're simple businesses. We have a real estate investment trust that pays us during the third quarter, during the third month of every quarter, an energy company that pays us during the second month of every quarter, and an oil company that pays us during the first month of every single quarter. Okay, this is how you're able to do this, because once again, that would simply mean if you have Occidental Petroleum paying you during the first month, Energy Transfer paying you during the second month, Salmon Property Group paying you during the third month, that simply allows you to get paid in the following: January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Plain and simple. Is it to say that you have to be restricted to only having those in your portfolio? No, absolutely not. I have probably about a total of, I think my portfolio comprises of about no more than 10 stocks or so. I believe I'm at like 8 or 9 or so. All right. The reason why is because I'm going specifically for growth, but ultimately having that level of sustainability and having that passive income being built. All the stocks in my portfolio build me passive income. They pay me to own shares of their companies. Okay. And so this is the simplest way of how you can create passive income for yourself every single month. Now, after this, the onus is on you to once again consistently and continually water the garden that you now have. Again, investing works wonders, but you have to allow it to work. So once again, at this point, if you made it to this video, super congratulations. You now at this point should have a brokerage of some sort, have a portfolio created of your ideal stocks that you want to invest into, whether it be tech, whether it be staple companies, you name it. But more importantly, you're able to now have that passive income system that you have created in order for you to start creating passive income for yourself. Now, granted, when you start investing small portions into these companies, you're going to get a couple of cents. But as you can see, the more that you start to invest, and this is what it is that I recommend, whenever you receive a dividend, just have it reinvested back into the same stock. Just have it reinvested back into it, because this is where the snowball effect is going to come in handy down in the future. All right. So hope this video definitely helps. Once again, beyond this point, now we're actually going to be looking towards utilizing options trading and the high income skill portion to now fast track what your investments can turn in for you by being able to learn a high income skill, allocating whatever kind of profit percentile that you particularly desire in order for you to grow your portfolio, but also at the same time being able to utilize profits in order to allow that rotation to continue. So hope this video helps. Catch you guys in the next one.